March 2nd, 1955. Montgomery, Alabama. A 15-year-old schoolgirl sat quietly on a city bus. Her name was Claudette Colvin. She was tired, not just from her day at school, but from the weight of something much heavier, the daily reality of being treated as less than human because of the color of her skin. That day, when the bus driver told her to give up her seat for a white passenger, something inside her refused to move. With steady determination, she looked up and said, "No. I paid my fare. This is my constitutional right." Claudette wasn't famous. She wasn't a leader. She was just a teenager with dreams. Dreams of becoming a lawyer, of fighting for justice. At school, she had recently been studying the U.S. Constitution. Words like liberty and equal protection under the law had stuck in her mind. She wondered, if these rights applied to everyone, then why didn't they apply to her? Every day, she saw segregation. Water fountains marked white and colored, schools divided, restaurants closed to her people. It was a life designed to keep Black citizens small and silent. But Claudette's spirit was not small. That day, it would not be silent.
The bus grew tense. Passengers stared. The driver shouted again. Claudette stayed firm, gripping her seat tightly, her heart pounding. She later recalled that she felt the presence of her ancestors, those who had been enslaved, those who had suffered injustice. She said, "It felt like Harriet Tubman was pushing me down on one shoulder and Sojourner Truth was pushing me down on the other. I couldn't move." Police were called. 2 officers boarded the bus. They demanded she get up. She refused. And then, in front of everyone, they dragged this 15-year-old girl from her seat, handcuffed her, and threw her into the back of a police car. Her only crime? Wanting to be treated with dignity. Claudette was arrested and charged with violating segregation laws, disorderly conduct, and even assaulting the officers, charges designed to break her spirit. Her mother was terrified, but the Black community quietly whispered about her bravery. This young girl had done something extraordinary. She had defied the system openly. But the world wasn't ready to embrace her as the face of the movement. Why? Because Claudette was young, poor, and later she became pregnant out of wedlock. Civil rights leaders feared that the media would use her personal life to discredit the cause, and so her story was pushed aside. While months later, another woman, Rosa Parks, would be chosen as the symbol of the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Yet, history should never forget Claudette Colvin. She was the first. 9 months before Rosa Parks, she was the teenager who said no. Her stand became part of the legal case, Browder versus Gale, which ultimately ended bus segregation in Montgomery. Without Claudette, the chain of events leading to the civil rights movement's victories might never have unfolded the same way. And for Claudette, the struggle continued. She lived much of her life in the shadows of history, watching as others received the recognition she too deserved. But in recent years, her courage has begun to be celebrated as it always should have been. Claudette Colvin's story reminds us that heroes don't always come in the form we expect. Sometimes they are young, sometimes they are overlooked, but their bravery changes the course of history. On that day in March 1955, a 15-year-old girl sat down, and by doing so, she stood up for justice. This is the power of resistance. This is the power of one voice saying no more. And this is the story of Claudette Colvin, the teenager who sparked a revolution.